Well, hello, this is Rochelle and welcome to my channel. So this may end up being a very long video and I did not film the entire process of this transfer, but the transfer was done using a method I was taught by Tia van Rooyen from Tia se Poeierkamer, and I do have other videos with this transfer method. This time I just did it on a Callico bag. So this is a Callico bag that I picked up from her Annie's. I primed it with the clear primer by Creative Talents. I also primed the front of this Ella Roetz printable, so on the picture side with this primer, and then let it dry. Then I applied another layer onto the bag and another layer onto the picture, and then stuck the two together, smoothing out all bubbles and air and whatever else, excess glue, making sure not to get any primer on the back of this page. Then once it's completely dry, you need to be patient, lots of cups of coffee. When it's completely dry, you take some water, and on this back of this picture, which is now facing you, you start rubbing in circles, a lot of circles, to get this image transferred. And then once it is transferred completely, you've rubbed off all of the top layer paper, excess paper, you can then give it another coat of this clear primer by Creative Talents. Give it a decent coat. Obviously this will help with whatever media you want to use on top of it. If you're using this method in a journal or in your Bible or wherever, make sure that it's covered nice and thick. I'm very surprised at this transfer method on the ongebleikte linne or like Callico or material. I'm very impressed. I cannot believe how beautiful it came out. Well, I can. I've seen it done by my dear friend Tia, so there's that. Next up, I'm going to use the Pitt Artist pens, the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pens. They do have a textile marker, which you very well could have used, so colored textile markers, and they would work beautifully. But I did want to show you that you can use your Pitt Artist pens for blending once you have let this primer dry. So I'm literally blending it with my fingers, and eventually you'll see me do it with an older kind of fluffy dry brush, just because my fingers, yes, well, let's not go there. So just kind of layering a little bit of color, and then while it's still wet on top of this primer, I'm moving it around. The thing with the Pitt Artist pens is that they have an India ink in them, which is a permanent, waterproof, light fast ink. This means that once it's dry, it's not going anywhere. So you need to move it while it's still wet. So I'm working in small surfaces and moving it while it is still wet. This exercise I kind of did as a test run and ended up filming it just because I really enjoyed this process. And this month with Ella Roetz's printables is all about mental health. I took the month of May as a breather. Sorry, that's funny. Didn't breathe much because was very busy. So yes, I really didn't hit, touch ground and whatnot, and it was just really, it was go non-stop. And so I'm just now getting back into things and making time, literally making time for creating. So I am making very sure that we've got that kind of covered in the mental health part of things, because it is important if you want to create, or if you want to stay sane, should I say, to create. Whatever you create. If you create doing embroidery, or you create doing knitting, or what's this new craze, crochet, or whatever you make, whatever you do to kind of switch off and make sure that you take care of you mentally is what you need to do. I know from my own experience that when I get kind of groggy and aggressive and angry, I need to sit down and create something. We were made that way. It's not I'm a left brain person. I have to only work with figures. It's not the way we were made. But we get told that when we are younger, we get told that we shouldn't, art is not our strong point. Art is not my strong point either. I'm not doing anything artistic here. But my right brain needs to interact with my left brain for me to be a whole person and for my mind and my mental health to be stable. So I do believe in art therapy. I do believe in getting some sort of creative something out of you, to be able to just kind of balance that rush of everyday life, making sure the bills are paid, making sure everything's done good and well. So I'm layering colors here, and it is not working exactly, but I'm testing and playing and trying. And obviously with me blending it out with my finger or then with the brush, I need to be sure that it's dry before I layer another color so that it doesn't move the previous color. But it works just fine in the end. I'm making do with a few greens and yellows, and I'm going to be using brown for those little hills, even putting in some blue there. Well, cobalt green actually, but yes, there we go. And blending that out, and blending it out without cleaning this brush, so it does kind of add that almost olivey color to this cobalt green, which I really ended up liking a lot. And like I said, this is really process for me. This is getting back into the creation part of things. I need to kind of just sit down and do something creative first before going straight into getting videos done and voiceovers done and all of that stuff. So I'm sharing the process with you, and the rest of it's pretty much just going to be some songs or some music just to let you watch me color and blend with my little brush. I will pop on here again when we get to the finishing touches. So I used some all-purpose ink, which is an ink that you can use pretty much on anything, on material, paper, etc., etc. I used a metallic one, which is called Gold Champagne, or Champagne Mist, sorry, of the all-purpose inks, and I just layered a layer of that sparkle over some of the sun rays and the actual kind of sun in the center there, just layering some shimmer. So the champagne mist actually just really adds shimmer. It doesn't change the color much, and you can't really see it on here yet, but when I show you the final picture, you should be able to pick up a little bit of that shimmer. So I didn't do it all over, just some of the rays. And then I took some Nuvo crystal drops. This is the black, and I'm tasting this, so I have no idea as to the longevity. Don't send me a million mails asking me how long it's gonna last. I have no idea. I'm tasting it. So that's the fun part of playing, is testing it out. And so I'm just laying down this kind of outline using the Nuvo crystal drops. It is kind of time consuming in the end, but I love the effect it gives. And yes, I can't wait to see if it'll last or if it'll crack off. I have no idea. I'm just trying and seeing. It really made this picture pop for me, and I was very happy with the kind of outcome in the end. I want to encourage you again today that if you are needing some space and time to recoup, do it in the presence of the Lord. He says in Matthew 11 verse 28 that we should come to Him when we are weary and heavy laden and burdened and worn out. And He actually says, worn out on religion, come to me. And He'll teach us the unforced rhythms of grace. That has been a key verse for me in this last kind of month. Just really letting or allowing Jesus to teach me those unforced rhythms of grace. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.